Hi guys, the headbangers are not too happy with the sacking of Suella Braverman. She was their leader in all but name when it came to issues like crime and immigration. Chief headbanger Jacob Rees Mogg is now concerned that an issue that he believes is important to the British people, that he pretends is important to the British people, that of stopping the boats and stopping students from coming to the UK, will now be abandoned. However, he's also concerned about what happens after the Supreme Court rules this week on the Rwanda policy. He believes, like many other headbangers, that in order to truly stop the boats, British people need to give up a few more rights. Have a listen to this.
What does Suella Braverman's sacking mean for the government tackling immigration? Because if you're saying that Rishi Sunak's out of touch with the mood on immigration, what does it mean for immigration?
It means that we are not going to be tackling legal migration thoroughly, which Suella was particularly concerned about, and was 606,000 last year.
But it's dropping.
Legal migration. Well, we're getting the figures on the 23rd of November, so we'll have to wait and see what the legal migration figures are. Illegal migration, the small boats problem, has fallen a little, and there will be the judgment on Wednesday. But I am concerned that without Suella, whichever way the judgment goes, we will still be bound by the Article 39 direction of the European Court, which she wanted to overturn and has the legal power to do. Now, James cleverly has said that he is not in favour of resigning from the European Convention on Human Rights. So I think there is distinct watering down on the migration policy.
On the James Cleverly point, absolutely he's committed to ECHR. Does that mean there's a problem with him carrying out the job of Home Secretary?
Well, he's been appointed by the Home Secretary with the competence of the Prime Minister, and policy on the ECHR has not yet moved to the state of withdrawing from it, but the Act Parliament passed earlier this year provides for the Home Secretary to override Article 39. Now, if you're in favour of being in the ECHR, I would have thought you were unlikely to challenge the court, whereas Suella would have been willing to do so.
Oh my God, we're back to this old nugget again. So this is, I think, going to be the line that the Brexiteers are going to push. Now, of course, the European Convention on Human Rights has nothing to do with the European Union and has nothing to do with Brexit. But Brexiteers are looking for something. It has the word Europe in it, so we need to leave. Now, they're selling it as a solution to the Rwanda problem. And either way the Supreme Court rules, the Brexiteers will come out and say we need to leave the European Convention on Human Rights anyway. Now, this is not about, you don't leave the European Convention on Human Rights. We're talking about the Council of Europe here. Will the UK leave the Council of Europe? Will it abandon the European Convention on Human Rights? I have been saying for some time, no. This has been raised as a threat on a number of occasions. You can trace it back to 2012. So this is something that the right wing within the Conservative Party have been banging on about. We need to leave the European Convention on Human Rights. We need to use it to stop immigration. Now, this begs the question, the UK economy needs workers at the moment. Farmers, factories, industry, hospitality, care homes are all crying out for workers. And Jacob Rees Mogg is talking about how we need to bring down immigration. We need to make it more difficult for industry to access the workers they need. And at the same time, we need to abandon legislation that's there to protect British people, their rights, in order to stop boats. How is that connected? And finally, the European Convention on Human Rights is enshrined in UK law as part of the Human Rights Act. And the Human Rights Act is a cornerstone of the Good Friday Agreement. So this is why, and I've said this before, why the UK will not abandon the European Convention on Human Rights, because the consequences would be pretty severe, would be pretty dire, because there would be sanctions probably imposed by the United States, because this would be undermining the Good Friday Agreement. And the new Home Secretary, like the last Home Secretary, was threatening to leave the European Convention on Human Rights, but she had no intention of doing so. Now the new Home Secretary, James Cleverly, has abandoned such an idea. It's folly, it's ridiculous. But of course, the Brexiteers, the hard right within the Conservative Party, will continue to push this line. We need to leave in order to stop the boats. We need to leave to bring down immigration. We need to leave to do whatever. It's either they don't understand it, or they don't care, or they hope that the public don't understand it. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.